Martell missing another court date? Huntsville's population about 231,000. The ratings 197,000. That means nearly 22,000 people roughly, the entire population of Aux Serbs, Alabama, just said, "Bye child, no thank you," and tapped out. Like imagine an entire city getting up and walking away from a show they once loved. That's not a small drop. It's a mass exodus, y'all. It's just when you thought the drama was only on screen, here comes Carlos King himself, stepping into the ring like, y'all not about to play in my face. And baby, the way this man clapped back, oh, it was given shade. It was given industry flex. And it was given you don't know what you think you know. So let's rewind real quick because this all started with that now viral post Carlos made back in November. Remember the one? The one where he proudly posted an article claiming that Love and Marriage Huntsville was up 43% compared to the previous year. Yes, 43%. And he thanked the fans, the cast, the crew, basically everybody but the haters. On the surface, it looks like a celebration, but it didn't take long for folks to dig deeper. One fan replied with some serious side-eye, like, this article only mentions Black women. Where are the rest of the numbers? And that's when the real showdown began, because shortly after, TV Deets came through with receipts showing the show had actually tied for the lowest demo in the series history. The contradiction had fans shook, and the timelines were popping, and baby Carlos wasn't having none of it. He came out swinging with that now iconic reply, "Lo, I love when someone who's standing outside the club is telling me what actually matters in my own industry. Y'all the same ones who think live same day matters, like it's 2015. Whew. Outside the club, not dragging the viewers to the curb like they ain't VIP. He said what he said now. And let me tell you, the internet ate it up. Some fans were cheering him on. Others were like, "Sir, with all due respect, we built that club. Don't act brand new." But let's unpack what he really meant. Underneath the shade is a very real point about how television is changing. Live and same-day viewership ain't the end-all be-all anymore. We're living in a world of streaming, on-demand clips, reels, and reaction videos. And y'all know ON YouTube channel stays active. When folks don't catch the show on TV, they pull it up on their phones, their laptops, their apps, whenever they feel like it. And here's the kicker. A real-life alleged industry insider slid into DMIs and emails with even more tea. Now again, this is alleged, okay? But this person basically said, look, cable ratings are cute and all, but that's old school. Nielsen ain't showing the whole picture. And when I tell you that lines up exactly with what Carlos was preaching, baby, the stars are aligning. According to this insider, if you really want to see where the Love and Marriage Huntsville fan base is, you need to look online. And y'all, the numbers don't lie. Let's talk facts. That first full episode of the new season, it racked up 143,000 views on YouTube, just 5 days. Now compare that to the cable viewership, which was 219,000 for the same episode. So let me ask you, are these the same viewers doubling back for a second watch? Or are we talking about a whole different audience that never even turned on their TV? And that's not all. A 2-minute clip of Trish inviting Marquez, 33,000 views. A clip of Martell and Neil sitting down, 59,000 views. A conversation with Mars and Miss Wanda, over 60,000 views. Do all in under a week. Y'all, people are watching. They just ain't watching the way they used to. And that might just be Carlos King's whole point. The conversation has moved off the couch and onto the cloud. And y'all already know the fans are not quiet about this. Social media is cutting up. One user said, "We asked for resolution, we got confusion. We asked for healing, we got Ken and Trish doing the most." Another tweeted, "If Ariana is the main storyline for Martell, why is he even on the show? Ain't nobody coming back to watch a man chase a ghost." Okay, and let me tell you the consensus, loud and clear. People are tired. Tired of the darkness, tired of the fake redemption arcs, tired of being gaslit by cast members who think we can't see through the smoke. But let's talk about this Ariane bombshell, because she really might have sunk this ship. Ever since she got dragged back into the conversation without ever really being on camera, it's like the energy of the show completely shifted. You could feel it. The vibes went from messy but entertaining to draining and unnecessary. And fans, especially the OGs who have watched from day one, they felt that change in their spirit. Because you can't just rehash the same drama season after season and expect people to stay tuned. Now let's zoom in on something deeper. A YouTuber said something that really stuck with me and a lot of other viewers. She said if you take Ariane out of the equation, Martell has nothing to talk about. And y'all, is she lying though? What else is he bringing to the table besides chaos and flashbacks? No active co-parenting, no business ventures that stick, no actual growth, and yet he's still in the center of the storm. Make it make sense. Meanwhile, Ken and Trish, baby, they done hijacked the whole season. 2 episodes in, and they've had more screen time than the Fletchers, the Widows, and probably Maurice and Kimmy combined. Don't get me wrong, Ken and Trish brought some heat, but the overexposure, it's giving desperation to save ratings, not organic storyline. And let's not forget about the cryptic IG posts that started trickling in as the ratings dipped. Melody posted a quote that said, "Sometimes the silence speaks louder than the noise." And guess what? She didn't even tag the show, not once, not even a promo repost. Then Stormy, in a since deleted story, posted, "Y'all don't even know half of what we deal with behind the scenes." Phew. Cryptic much. And Destiny, who has been ghosting fans for months, liked a comment that said they should have never gotten it this far. Chilly, what does that mean? But wait, here's where things get juicy. An anonymous source allegedly close to the production team spilled that OWN executives are extremely concerned about the direction of the franchise. According to the source, producers have already had emergency calls with Carlos King and his team. The word on the curb is that OWN feels like the show has become too toxic and is no longer delivering the type of inspirational drama that it once did. Apparently, they're considering pulling the plug after this season, unless there's a major shift. And baby, if OWN pulls the plug, that means no reunion, no final closure, no redemption arcs, just a cold, quiet ending to a show that once dominated Saturday night TV. Could you imagine no final word from Melody, no reckoning for Martell, no accountability for the mess they stirred up? Whew, talk about unfinished business. But let's dig even deeper, shall we? Because this show didn't just lose viewers, it lost trust. Viewers feel betrayed. They were invested in the healing journeys, the family dynamics, the Black excellence. What they got instead was a carousel of side characters, rerun drama, and behind-the-scenes beef that overshadowed everything else. When a fan commented, "It's like watching your favorite cousin go from being the strong one to the messy one in the group chat," I felt that in my soul. And y'all already know I have to ask the question that's on everybody's mind. Is Melody done for good? Because let's be real, without her, the show loses its backbone. She was the balance between the drama and the business, the storm and the calm. And if she's stepping away for real, baby, they better roll credits now. And what about Martell? His only storyline is chasing Ariane's ghost and crying about missed opportunities. Where do we go from here? Because the fans are no longer here for the pity me parade. We want accountability, growth, something new. But every time we think there's a breakthrough, we end up in the same place. Martell gaslighting, Melody exhausted, and viewers turning the channel. And don't think I forgot about the production tricks. The edits this season, sketchy. Scenes being cut weird, conversations chopped up, and key cast members getting little to no airtime. It's like they're trying to force certain narratives, but the audience sees right through it. And that's part of the reason why folks are walking away. We're not dumb, we see the agenda. And if it's not authentic, we're not watching. Now, here comes the final twist, and y'all are not ready for this one. I got word, again, allegedly, that a new reality show is being quietly developed by one of OWN's sister networks. Guess who's being tapped to star? Melody. Yes, Melody Shari. Apparently, there are talks about giving her a solo platform focused on motherhood, entrepreneurship, and healing. No Martell, no LAMH. It's just Melody and her next chapter. If that happens, oh, it's over for Lamb, period. So let me ask y'all, where do we go from here? Do you keep tuning in, hoping it'll get better? Or do we finally let go and let the show rest in peace? Because at this point, it's giving zombie series, still walking but dead on the inside. Now, let's be honest for a minute. There's still a very real issue with the show's trajectory. Ratings might not be the whole story, but fan fatigue, that's real. People are still watching, but they're also talking, and not all of it is cute. The fans have concerns. Why are new cast members getting more screen time than the vets? Why is Ariane still the centerpiece of Martell's drama? Where is the resolution we were promised seasons ago? And even though Carlos might not want to hear it, these are valid critiques. Ratings are evolving, yes, but storytelling still matters. And right now, the narrative feels broken. But what if this is all part of a bigger plan? Think about it. Carlos Keen is not new to this. He's true to this. He knows the game. He's seen how shows like ROHA and Married to Medicine survive by constantly reinventing themselves. So what if this entire season is a reset, a way to cut out the fluff, trim the fat, and rebuild? Y'all remember that alleged whisper about ON developing new content for Melody? What if this entire season is the testing ground to see who's really keeping the lights on? Because if those YouTube numbers are an indication, ON might just shift everything digital. Imagine Love and Marriage Huntsville becoming a primarily streaming show, with full episodes dropping online first. Baby, that would flip the table and leave the old model in the dust. So now the question is, are you watching for the story or just for the tea? Because the tea is everywhere, but the story, it's at a crossroads. Now, let's get real. Does Carlos have a point? Maybe. Is the show still in danger despite online views? Also maybe, because advertisers still care about numbers, networks still look at trends,